Hi, this is Lonya with another StarCraft 2 commentary, and this is another game from Boo's Ladder series, and we can see here a red Terran, zxyc, from now on called the red Terran, and we've got Boo as the blue Zerg, and apparently both players complaining about the maps. They kind of do get a bit stale slightly, especially since it's been pretty much the same ladder maps. Blizzard introduced a couple of new ones with the 1.1 something patch, but really a lot of these maps have been around since beta, and it's kind of gets a bit stale in some ways. And hopefully eventually we might get some new maps out, but it'll be a case of waiting and seeing. And when the ladder's kind of so controlled, it's quite difficult for people to get other maps out. I mean, IC Cup, they make quite a few maps and they try and publish them on basically all the servers eventually, but thanks to Blizzard that's not quite so easy. But obviously you need custom games, and for custom games the easiest way to get it is to chat with other people, and the easiest way to do that is to have chat rooms in the game, which we also don't have, but they might come eventually. So hopefully when we get chat rooms it'll be easier to kind of pick up games on other maps, and the ladder maps will be not quite so stale, even though they're usually used for the ladder games. But often you can find people using the other maps, using especially IC Cup maps. They're kind of decent, and they kind of try and have a bit of quality control. And Boo just complaining too tired to play properly, presumably made some mistakes, but at the moment neither player doing much out of the ordinary. No kind of early rushes, and the Overlord's just scouting, seeing the standard barracks going up, just one barracks going up, one gas going up at the moment for the Terran. And Boo just getting down a pool now on 14 drones, which is fairly standard, especially on this map with the long rush distances. And since he saw that barracks, he knows that there's nothing funny going on. He knows it's fairly safe to take that, and it's going to be a while before the Terran can kind of come and scout him. And the Terran meanwhile just getting some gas up, not going for any kind of particularly early tech, probably not going to go for hugely early banshees since he doesn't have that second gas up yet. And Boo just getting down the spawning pool now. So with the close air distances, it'll be interesting to see if they do decide to go for some air units, or whether they just decide to try and break down these rocks to get between the two bases pretty quickly and try and do a bit of a ground push, or whether they go for kind of a more expansive game, which can be viable, especially since there's quite a few bases that you can take, just kind of spreading yourself along the map. But then you can get kind of cut in half if they do take this base, and you say you've got your main up here, expansion, and then the third base here, they come here, they're kind of cutting between your bases, and they can attack down the bottom or they can attack up the top. And apparently the red Terran complaining that this map's slightly Zerg biased, which you could say maybe it is quite easy to take that expansion, like I was just mentioning. It's kind of pretty safe to take, and just a drone transferring over for some reason. So you can be fairly confident in taking that at the start of the game. There's no massively easy pressure for a Terran to put on right at the start of the game. And he is getting a second gas, so he might be going for some tech, just kind of not pushing it out, or going for some kind of 1-1-1 build, get out some banshees, and then also have some supporting units from these other buildings. And Boo hasn't seen the factory going up, but he does see a tech lab going up. There's his marine here just to keep the Overlord away, which is nice positioning by zxyc. So it might be getting some blue flame hellions possibly, or some tanks, and just one drone at the moment on this other gas, and at the moment fairly even on the harvest account, and just droning up from Boo, not feeling a need to get any Zerglings out. He can basically see what's coming. Got these Zerglings now at the front door, he can see kind of what's coming in, not feeling a need to get too many units, and the Terran also not getting too much, but it does look like we're getting blue flame hellions. So the Terran's going to try and put on a bit of pressure, and Boo really is going to want, Roach Warren down, he's going to want some Roaches out on the production tab. None coming at the moment, but they're not absolutely necessary just yet. So no surprises that he doesn't have any. It's better to obviously just save up until you absolutely need things, and one Hellion just on the front door. These Zerglings not going to be able to do too much. He's just going to be able to, or should possibly be able to kind of try and kite them, but not going to be too successful, especially since he can't really run that way too far. Really wants to go back towards those Marines and get them to do some extra damage. We're not going to do that, but he does take him out, takes a bit of damage on the Hellion, and he's going to have to wait for some more, obviously, before he does his push, and wait for the blue flame upgrade to finish. But he was getting a starport down just over here, kind of out of sight of what Boo's doing, and he hasn't seen the Roach Den, but he probably doesn't really feel the need to scout. He's going to be fairly confident of what's going on, and he's getting a medevac. In fact, so he's going to go for a Hellion drop, not any banshees. And somehow he hasn't got a huge amount of gas just yet, and he's just getting a bunker down on his front door and double pumping Marines. And we got some roaches moving up, so really these Hellions are not going to be effective against these roaches because they're not a light unit, they're an armoured unit, and he doesn't have any marauders either, so it could be a bust here from Boo if these roaches manage to get into his base, if they decide to push up the ramp. But it doesn't look like he's doing that quite yet. Going to wait for some more to come, possibly, or no, he's just going to kind of sit them at the back just in case that drop does come. But he might be able to break down one of these supply depots at the front door, especially this one, which is pretty much completely out of range of the bunker, so really not the best play by zxyc, but he is going into that drop just over here with 3 Hellions. He's going to kind of force those back roaches to do something. He does take down the supply depot. Now supply blocked for the Terran, but he has got those blue flame Hellions in, and the roaches are slightly out of position, just kind of not really doing anything at the moment. Not the best control there by Boo, losing quite a few drones at the moment, down to 20 against 24. He doesn't lose any of those Hellions and manages to get them away in the medevac, which is half damaged. It looks like these roaches at the front door decided to back off after just taking down that one supply depot and not doing too much else, not even taking down the tech lab. But obviously zxyc was supply blocked slightly for a bit and lost quite a few drones, and now we're getting a command center going up for the Terran, and the roaches are pressing up against the front door again and forcing him to cancel that supply depot. He's in the raid and supply still, so really needs to get some supply depots up. Trying to put down another one and getting one up here just to kind of double reinforce that wall just in case there's any kind of bust coming or anything else. But these roaches just able to push their way through on this side, and the Hellions dropping down, not going to be able to do too much obviously. Some roaches protecting at the back, and Terran just complaining about 4 range on the roach. And I think this is quite soon after the patch, so it's slightly old, so that change was kind of new. And a spy just going up for Boo as well. He's got his layer up at his main and got units kind of positioned all around the map, making sure he can see what's going on, making sure he's got scout control. And it looks like the Terran's going to go for kind of bio push, getting some more medevacs out to support that. And he doesn't have any tech labs on his barracks, so he's not going to be able to get any of the barracks upgrades at the moment until he gets some tech labs possibly on these ones. Not going to be able to get any marauders out. But even if he just goes with the pure marine army, you still need those upgrades like stim, because they make the units just so much more effective. He's got the tank out and the siege mode upgrade, so he might switch this barracks with the tech lab possibly, or kind of, no, he's just going to get 2 tech labs over here, and he's producing Hellions now and not keeping producing tanks, so he hasn't swapped that. And the spine crawler going up, so he hasn't swapped that factory over, but he's also not still producing tanks, which is kind of interesting. And an armory going up, so it looks like he's going to go for Thors instead, because he's just scanned and he won't have seen the spire because that was at the natural. But quick look at the vision, he sees that there's that spine crawler up there. He scans now at the natural, sees that the spire is almost completed, so he's going to know that's there, and a couple of spine crawlers up just to protect against any Hellion harass that might try and come in. But with that armory up, he's going to pump Marines. He's not actually going to pump Marines. He's not really pumping anything at the moment, and he's just getting that. And Boo just saying, did you forget to mill, because he had enough energy for 2 scans, and he has in fact pretty much forgotten to mill because he's still got quite a bit of energy on that command center even after those 2 scans, and this command center is only just complete, so he's doing a bit more than just saving up his energy. And we should see a thought coming out and some missile turrets going up, so going pretty defensive, knowing that those mulists are about to come, and just getting missile turrets all around his base to try and hold them off as much as possible. But he's not going to get any upgrades for the missile turrets because oh wait, no, he might do. He does have the engineering bay up, but he's not getting any upgrades up anyway. And some lings just kind of running around, just going to do a bit of scouting. Going to see these 2 bunkers, going to see the tank, going to see the Hellions, going to see the Marines. Won't know about the Thors, but will know now about the missile turrets, so they're kind of pretty much everywhere. And it looks like we've got some Mulists now flying in. Kind of a bit of a mistake there. He did know that those missile turrets, the bunkers were there on the front door. So really not sure why I did that, but wow, taking down turrets, and now getting into that main base. It might be able to take down the medevac, but no, it doesn't quite manage to. And it looks like Boo's going to try and take out the turret before it manages to be completed. Try and take down the tech level, that will stop any Thor production, which isn't actually happening yet. The stim packs finally started going. No Thors being produced, nothing being produced out of that factory obviously. That medevac's quite heavily damaged, not managed to take that out yet, and these Marines are going to come in, try and possibly persuade those Moose to go away, but no, not managed to do that. Reactor goes down as well, so not the best position at the moment, but losing too many Mutalisks really. He really didn't need to go in again for that kind of second bit of attack. He knew that he'd done a bit of damage, could have just kind of held off for a bit. If you just check the income, Boo way far ahead, 43 drones against 27 SCVs, way ahead on the gas, way ahead on the minerals, and coming in again with those minerals to put some more out now, but still not able to do too much. Just kind of trying to go against that turret with the Marines right behind it, but that should be able to hold him off at least until he gets a few more meterlists out and defending about the turrets. And really what he could be doing is taking down these back rocks. He knows that the front door is kind of protected up, he knows he's got turrets all around the base, he knows that this expansion's up from those Zerglings, so he could really be trying to focus down on these destructible rocks, but not doing that, and deciding instead to go with the meterlists. And again,